Good morning, everybody. It's very great to see so many of you here at our open day today at the University of Liverpool. It's my pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to you, to the university, and if you're not from around here, to the city of Liverpool. I hope that you do get a chance to find out everything you need to know to make a good and informed choice. My name is Kelvin Everest. I'm Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university. And I'll be taking you through quite a rapid overview of the kind of university we are, a bit about our history and some of the key features that we have to offer. But before I do that, I'd just like to make a couple of sort of prefatory points. There's a lot of hype these days and journalistic debate about whether there's even any point in coming to university. What's the point of it? Is it value for money? But it's worth bearing in mind that unless you've got a particular talent for entertainment or sport or business or retail, or find by some other lucky chance that you do very well in life without a degree right through the several decades of your working life, well, that will be fine. But it is just a fact that for almost the whole range of vocational professional careers that will see you through a successful lifetime of working, you simply have to have a degree. You can't be a doctor or work in the health service or a dentist or a vet or an accountant or a lawyer or a scientist or an engineer or an architect or a town planner without a degree. And most positions above the junior level in major organizations will also expect you to have a degree. So in a sense, the introduction of the higher fee and so on has made no difference at all. That still just is the case. Another thing it's helpful, I think, to bear in mind from the UK perspective is that our university sector is, in global terms, a very elite sector, maybe comparable only with Australia and the United States. There's a massive world undersupply of higher education, and every year there are literally millions of people who would dearly love the opportunity to attend any British university. So it's worth remembering that when you are thinking about this very important choice. Okay, so why the University of Liverpool? Who are we and where do we come from? We're the original red brick university. The expression red brick means a comprehensive campus-based university with its campus right in the middle of a major English city, and that is certainly Liverpool. The term red brick university comes from the colour of the brick out of which our own Victoria building just off University Square is made. A lecturer of the university wrote a novel in the 1930s entitled Red Brick University, and that's where the expression comes from. We are a Russell Group university, one of the 24 elite research-intensive universities in the United Kingdom. And we have today 3 separate bases for our operation. Our home and our heart is still here in our home city of Liverpool. But we have recently opened an operational base in London, in Finsbury Square, where we're starting to offer taught postgraduate programs for the professions, with a special relationship with the City of London. And genuinely, distinctively for us, we are also one of only 2 British universities which own our own university in China, and I'll come back to that in a moment. In terms of rankings and league tables, well, like everybody else, we bounce up and down a bit in the UK tables. They are constructed by journalists who have to do that, using criteria they've invented themselves. We prefer to rest our case on the global rankings. There are 3 major ranking systems, one that's run by the Times newspaper, one by Shanghai Jiao Tong University in China, and another one called the QS survey. And like all the Russell Group universities, in these global rankings, we do very, very well. We're always ranked well inside the top 200, which puts us inside the top 1% of universities globally. To try and get a focus on the numbers here, there are more universities in California than there are in the United Kingdom. There are more than 3,000 universities in China alone. And so for Liverpool to be ranked as it is actually at the moment, higher than 150th in the world by a completely objective scheme is really quite appropriate. I'm confident that we can offer you an excellent education which will enable you to realise your full potential. But I think it's also completely true to say that Liverpool is a really great place to be a student and to spend your student years. A great city for nightlife, for sport, entertainment, music, of course, also art galleries, theatres and so on, where we have a very rich cultural and social life. We've been going quite a long time. We were established in the 1880s, built with private money from the families that had made their fortunes out of Liverpool's imperial zenith in the middle of the 19th century. In terms of size, it's quite important to take in the fact that as a Russell Group University, we are actually quite small, a little bit smaller than Newcastle, so the smallest comprehensive Russell Group University. Manchester, for example, is much bigger at more than 30,000. Leeds is much bigger than Liverpool. And we think that this genuinely does mean that we can be more inclusive, more supportive, more friendly and relaxed than some other Russell Group experiences that you'll find. We're proud of our long history. We have 9 Nobel Prize-winning members of staff. Liverpool University was the first university to offer degrees in quite a range of subjects, the first School of Architecture offering degrees in the university, the first veterinary college, first oceanography, first biochemistry department. In fact, we invented the word biochemistry here. First town planning, and so on. On the other hand, we're not hampered by or chained to that past. We realise that things move very quickly these days and that student expectations are changing all the time. So we are building a completely contemporary approach to higher education on the foundations of our strong history. We are proud of the fact that, as you'd expect being in Liverpool, we do have a student body with a social mix which does map broadly onto the wider social mix of society at large. We look to identify potential in people, and if we think that they can come and succeed with us, then if they're limited by economic background or financial issues, then we do our absolute best to help them through that potential barrier, and we spend, as a consequence, more than £8 million of our own money every year on bursaries and scholarships to support students. We like to describe ourselves as life-changing, world-shaping. Life-changing because we hope that if you come to us, you can realise your full potential and transform the possibilities that life offers for you. And we are, as a research-intensive university, world-shaping in the sense that our research is fundamental to the way that our own country and the world shapes and renews and makes sustainable its social, cultural, economic life and its infrastructure. As a university, we're organised into 3 broad faculties, each one the size of a small university. Health and life sciences has always been very important for the University of Liverpool. Medicine is a degree that is studied at any one time by about 10% of all the full-time undergraduate population. But if you include all the clinical and clinical-related areas that we teach in, you're looking at about a quarter of the full-time undergraduate population. We've had strong humanities and social sciences from our foundation. We have an English department which goes back to the 1880s, history department, classics and so on. But today we also have a flourishing and still fast-growing management school and a big, powerful law school. And in science and engineering too, we continue to be able to sustain high-level, big science areas. Our chemistry department is world-leading, and our physicists were in the news all through last year because of the role that they played in helping with the detection of the Higgs boson at the research facility that we're part of just outside Geneva. So all together, we are able to offer more than 450 taught undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs covering the full range of traditional disciplines. Our outlook is global. You will know that you're in Liverpool if you come to study with us, but like the city itself, we have always looked outwards, and we are firmly established as a world player in higher education. Students coming to Liverpool will get an internationalised experience. Partly that comes through the fact that we are research intensive, and that means that our research activity is international in character. It doesn't know research in all our disciplines can't be confined by national borders. We also, of particular interest to people considering undergraduate programs with us, as I've mentioned, we own our own university in China, Xi'an Jiaotong Liverpool Daxue, and that means that for certain degree programs, you do have the option of taking part of your undergraduate degree at our university in Suzhou, near Shanghai. But we've also just in the process of putting in place a new scheme whereby whatever degree you're studying, you will have the option to choose at the beginning of your second year to spend the whole of your third year in our Chinese university, not following your own degree program, but following a generic program of Chinese Mandarin language and introduction to China today, Chinese society and culture and history. And if you take that year, then it will change the title of the degree you graduate with. So, for example, if you entered to read history, then you won't graduate just with a BA in history. You'll graduate with history and a year in China. Employers particularly warm to students who have taken the trouble and made the effort and shown the initiative to take some of their degree abroad. And so beyond the Chinese initiative, many of our degree programs now have study abroad options built into them and work placements and so on. We're working hard to internationalize our campus as well as our curriculum, and that extends right down to the kind of food offer that we have on campus, the whole look and feel of the place, its signage, the way that we represent ourselves back to ourselves through the whole design of the campus. So in short, if you come to Liverpool, you will be coming to a global university. You will have every opportunity to have an international dimension in your studies, and you will meet students from all parts of the world. We realise that with all the controversy around the advent of the £9,000 fee and the different arrangements for where the money comes from for that student expectations are now very high. Value for money is something that everyone worries about, and so we have been investing very heavily to make sure that our offer is as good as it can possibly be and is globally as well as nationally competitive. So we've put in place state-of-the-art facilities for laboratory-based teaching, for workshop-based engineering studies. We have completely refurbished our historic Guild of Students building, the oldest student guild in the country. And we have also moved to up the quality of our accommodation offer. We realise that many students still like the experience of a fully catered, leafy suburban setting for their first year at least, and we have very attractive, fully catered halls about 3 miles from the main campus. But some students nowadays want a different kind of experience: single bed, ensuite, self-catering, independent living, and so we've moved to create 2 excellent, award-winning new kinds of residence right in the middle of our campus. Vine Court, which is fully open and which is an eco-friendly, energy-efficient, modern facility. And we are just about to complete a second development, Crown Place, which has a further 1,200 ensuite single bedrooms right in the very heart of the university. So, in summary, what is our offer? We are a research-intensive Russell Group university with a tradition and a reputation for excellence. Research-intensive means that you will be taught, if you come to us, by academics who are fully engaged at the cutting edge of research in their own disciplines, and you will get a correspondingly enriched experience of teaching and the curriculum. We're a respected institution with long, strong history and deep roots, with a global ambition and an international reputation. We're research-led, but we're also inclusive. We think we're configured in a way which genuinely enables us to be friendly, supportive, and inspirational in the student experience we can provide. Prospective applicants will also obviously be worrying about the career that lies beyond their studies, and we have an award-winning careers and employability service in this university. And finally, in the city of Liverpool, you have a fantastic place to be a student in, with a low cost of living from the student perspective, low cost housing, plenty of opportunities for part-time work, fantastic nightlife, great sport, music, and so on.